Hello everyone. I'm Vivek, and my team member for this project was Raja. The project that was allotted to us was basically it was an IoT-based agricultural device for the improvement of the farmers' productivity. So we tried to implement it in whatever way we could. As we know, deep learning models they save time compared to conventional data analysis functions. What we did when we see the present day IoT devices which are being used in the farming industry, they lack the features which are available when we use machine learning or deep learning. We try to implement deep learning models, and using those, we think that our project can be beneficial for the agricultural sector. The features which we implemented in this project were three main features. One is the disease detection, which works in the way where the farmer can click an image of the leaf of the plant, and then the model will determine which vegetable or which fruit plant it is, and whether or not it has a disease. And if it does have a disease, it will determine which disease it is. Then the second feature which we implemented was fertilizer prediction or recommendation. What it does is it collects the data from the soil, temperature, and the amount of light falling on the field, and then it recommends the farmer what kind of fertilizer and in how much quantity it has to be used, so that the desired level of nutrition can be achieved. And the third and final feature which we implemented was an yield prediction. By this, the farmer can determine whether the yield which he has in mind, and he has planned his expenses accordingly, whether it can be achieved or not. Rajab, you can go ahead.
Hello guys. Just a second. Vivek, can you just stop presenting? I'll present it from my side because I have some more important parts.
Yeah, fine.
Hello guys. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So as Vivek discussed, why deep learning is so important right now. So I just like to highlight some of the things which were done in a conventional way, but they were like majorly changed in deep learning. So one of the first thing is predicting the structure of protein molecules. Currently, Google has published a paper where we can directly predict the structure of protein molecules, and at one point of time, this used to be some 5 year thesis project, but now it just takes some hardly 10 seconds to just give the input and get the output of the molecule. So I would like to first go on to our first part, which is plant disease detection. So first, we just got this data set from GitHub. So here, as you guys can see that there is an for each kind of for each fruit or vegetable, we have like for let's take apple in the case. So apple is basically apple scab or apple black rot or apple ceretrus and apple healthy. So basically, first what we tried was we just directly implemented we just passed all this data into our model and we tried to get the output. So here, as you guys can see, we are actually getting maximum 98% validation accuracy. So one thing which we felt was to improve we actually wanted to achieve 100% accuracy in all of our projects again, because we want to make sure that because sometimes the farming is like sometimes it's very temperature sensitive, it's very time constrained also. So we can't afford to make any mistakes. So we always want to make 100% accuracy. So one thing which we did was instead of passing the whole data set into the model, we just took Apple part and sent to the model, and we took Cherry part and sent to the model, and we took. One second. Vivek, can you mute your microphone? Yeah. So instead of passing the whole data set into model and try to predict, which we were able to maximum get 98% accuracy, and we use something called pre-trained mobile net, which you can get in PyTorch, and we just did transfer learning. So we wanted to achieve 100% accuracy, I said before, because we really can't afford to make any form of mistakes while doing farming. So we just took Apple for all these 4 categories of apple, all for 2 categories of cherry, and all 4 categories of corn. And then same, we applied mobile net learning itself. So so if you take Apple in the case, where we are able to attain 100% accuracy using mobile net. So even in test case, we tried a lot of iterations, and we are consistently getting 100% in detecting what disease the apple has been affected. And same thing we can do for all kinds of plants. And once here we have, as mentioned before, we use MobileNet V2, which is a pre-trained model which is available in PyTorch. And so the idea how we are trying to implement is a farmer will take a picture of the plant using his mobile, and it will instantly give the result. And second thing is yield prediction. So here we just take the parameters such as rainfall, average humidity, mean temperature, max temperature, the alkali part of the soil, the sandy, whether the soil is sandy or chalky. So here how we tried implementing is, basically, just a second. So just open this. Yeah, so as you guys can see, here's a data set which I have opened for you right now. So basically, you can all take all these values, 57, 62, and all these values, and so farmer will have a particular outcome, whether how much this is. It was not mentioned very clearly in the data set description, but it's basically on how much tons he can expect the outcome, and whether this is the outcome, whether he'll get the outcome, whether or not he will get the outcome, whether the expected outcome he'll get based on these parameters, or whether he won't get the expected outcome. So here also basically applied the same thing. Here we made a custom new NN model here, and we have just sent this model. First, the data was very unbalanced, so we actually had to both oversample both of them, and in the end we were able to attain 100% accuracy. So farmers doesn't make can know what kind of outcome we'll be getting. And the third part of a project, which was whether the fertilizer recommendation, and this is very similar to what we did in yield prediction. And here also these both we wrote it in PyTorch, and this one we did it in TensorFlow. So here the same thing, say very similar kind of data, and this thing which predicts how sorry this thing predicts like how much amount of fertilizer you need, and what class of fertilizer should you use for a particular set of parameters. And now Vivek will continue. Vivek, are you there?
Yeah. Can you go back to the presentation, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the advantages of this device is it's a low-cost technology-driven solution compared to the present-day solution which is available in the market. As we know, the population of the planet is rising, and with an increase in population, there will be an increase in demand for food grains. So a device like this, when implemented, will lead to an increase in the production of food grains. It will be a great solution because it's a cheap and alternative for implementation in countries which are developing or underdeveloped. It will also provide an easy source of data collection for governmental agencies, since currently governmental agencies spend a lot of cash for data collection, where they have to go around collecting data from each field present in the nation. This hub, if this hub is further developed, it can be expanded to include an e-commerce site as well, such as an Amazon, but for farmers, where we'll cut out the middleman. As we know, the middleman consumes most of the profit, and the farmers are left with very little of what they earn. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so this is the predicted cost that we did. So if we implement this on a Raspberry Pi, the Raspberry Pi goes for around 3,500 rupees. The sensors which we use for the sensor data, that will cost another 5,000 rupees. And the labor cost, it is a bit exaggerated, but let's leave it at 10,000. When we compare it to the present day, as we can see, the present day agricultural IoT devices which are present start from 7 lakh rupees in total. So this adds up to less than 20,000 in comparison. So by this, we can say that this will be a way much better form to implement such a device in the field.
Yeah, Vivek, can I interject?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, we are done. Thank you.
You say miscellaneous sensors. So, do you know what kind of sensors? Is it a nitrogen or any kind of gas analysis you guys are hoping to do? What is? I missed the data set. The
Yes, sir.
guy.
Yes, sir. So here, as you guys see, so basically we can, so there are sensors to collect average humidity, mean temperature, max temperature. So and this is brand new. We are not sure whether the sensors are available in such a way, but I guess there
Uh,
are sensors for like
Raja.
alkaline. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, sir, as you had said, the sensors these sensors are present, but then we encountered an issue in the beginning of the project where we couldn't find a data set which had data which was directly collected from this sensor. So we had to compromise a bit for the implementation of this project. But further on, if we spend some cash on data collection, then we can convert this project to a sensor based project. These sensors are very cheap. They are present there. You can check it out on Amazon itself. They start from around 200 150 rupees each.
Okay, so you got to have a full presentation as to which sensors are you planning to use. If you're going in the
uh,
business area, people would
yeah
like
uh,
to know.
yeah,
Mhm.
we'll be the sensors which we had, like the data which we used are the like what do I say, are in the form of the sensors which will be we using. Since average humidity, mean temperature, we'll be using temperature sensors, something that a sensor which detects the water content present in the soil, a chemical analysis sensor which will determine the chemical components present in the soil.
I see.
And also, sir, I also want to mention one more thing. Sir, the problem which while collecting agriculture data sets would be the amount of time. So, like, for example, let's say this is a millet yield, right? So let's say this will take around 2 to 3 months. So and 2 to 3 months, I could get maybe like maximum 3 or 4 readings were collected from one farmer. So like it will be really difficult for us to collect data. So since this is a brand new field of applying IoT in farm device, there aren't much data set available in public right now. And most of the data sets which we found were like manually typed and given, as Vivek mentioned. But in future, since in a lot of countries like Netherlands and all, where they farm without soil and they are extremely data intensive, and in these places they regularly collect data, but currently they haven't made any of the data sets public yet. So we had to rely on the data which were manually entered by the farmers or by any other government survey source to for us in this project, including the image data set and the fertilizer data set.
So, which you again did not introduce yourselves. Which year are you in? Are you in final year, third year?
I'm
What
in
are you?
third year, sir. Both of
Yeah.
us
Third
are.
year, third year computer science.
No, so I'm in electric triple E in Pitchpilani, Goa campus.
And I'm a third year computer science student at NIT Rourkela.
Okay, and I missed the first college, Vivek or
So I'm from Pitchpilani, Goa campus.
I see. So Vivek and Raja. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to continue on this, this is pretty good project for your final year too. Um, if you want to put in more effort, we can supply sensors that you talked about. So you can create your own data set and bring it back and talk to your colleges if they would be willing to sort of work with us into accepting this as a project. I can talk to your professor if need be, but I don't think it's needed. If you bring it to your supervisors and tell them this is what you have done, they would be impressed and they would say, yeah, go ahead, do it, kind of a thing. But if not, let me know. I would be willing to help. Thank you. Very good.
Yes, sir.